Anthony Stevens is a North Melbourne legend by any definition. Sadly, he is remembered more for his part as the innocent victim of a scandal that rocked the football world and split his footy club. We've seen little and heard little of you in the last 10 years, Anthony. Update us.
How are you, Mike, anyway?
I'm good. Yeah, welcome.
I've lived the last 8 years in Echuca. I originally bought a business called Perfect Party Hire. Now we've changed the name to Stride Events because we grew from a party hire business into an event hire business. So with that, I'm now living in Bendigo. Moved there 12 months ago. We've got a branch down there.
There's a North Melbourne reunion coming up next year, 20th anniversary of the 1996 Premiership win.
Yep.
You and Wayne Carey were integral parts of that team for over a long period.
Yep.
Will you go?
Definitely, I've been to all the reunions. I don't need to shy away from those scenarios, and I don't think Wayne actually does that as well. It's actually a sad situation because it is a bit of a broken bond, I suppose, between the players, and it's a sad scenario. But in the end, I think I've never overstepped the mark in regards to making my teammates and our great mate and friendship that we had decide between the two of us. So in the end, I go there, and in the end, Wayne goes there, and we get on with life. We don't talk to each other.
So if you cross paths, would you acknowledge each other?
No. We'd look at each other, but Wayne made a nod, but I don't give him too much. So.
And how do you say people like, for argument's sake, Craig Scholl and David King, who are great friends of both of you?
Yep.
Is it difficult for them to walk that line? I mean, if they're seen to be with one of you, does that sort of impact on the other? If you see one of your good mates spending a lot of time with Duck, does that worry you?
Not at all. It's between 4 people that were involved in that scenario at the time. So in the end, it doesn't faze me. I don't want my mates to choose between 2 mates. They can make an assessment whether they agree with what happens or whatever, and whether they want to involve themselves with Wayne or myself. That's their choice. So in the end, I don't want to put people in an awkward situation, and I try not to do that. Wayne was a huge part of the football club. He was an absolute superstar and probably one of the best to ever play the game, and definitely the best player that's ever played at North Melbourne. So he was a huge figure at North Melbourne. But in the end, probably one of the bonuses out of the whole scenario is that Wayne left, and all of a sudden, because he was such a dominant figure as a captain and in the club, and some guys may have been scared to actually have a say in regards to any views on, at the football club or whatever at that stage. But all of a sudden, when I was appointed captain, and it wasn't just me, there was Glenn Archer who was vice captain, there was John Blakey, there was David King, there was Lee Colbert, Matthew Burton, Sav Rocco, I could go on. Adam Simpson stood up, and that's why I became captain. We all of a sudden found 20 captains at that football club because they all stood up and had love for that football club and didn't want it to go anywhere. And the strength of the football club, I think, out of that actually got stronger. Now,
you take over the captaincy of the footy team from Wayne Carey. 10 days later, you take your new team to Adelaide, correct?
Yep.
The boys who were involved in that game said that they've never, premierships included, there's never been such an outpouring of emotion when you left the ground, went to the rooms and you'd beaten Port Adelaide. Is that your memory of it?
Yeah, it was Glenn Archer's 200th that night. I think it was 200th, yeah. And I was more excited about Arch playing 200 and winning the game that night, and I think he kicked the winning goal. So, the closeness of the boys, because we actually went away before that game to Lee Colbert's father's place up at Bendigo, Bernie Colbert's place.
The whole team?
The whole team.
Yeah.
And we discussed about a lot of different things, what we wanted to achieve out of the season. Pretty much if anyone's got any queries about what had happened, they can speak to me or speak to Glenn or anyone in the footy, any of the senior guys. So we dealt as a team with a lot of different things before we hit the first game of the year with the support of Dennis. And in the end, we come out and had a great win, an amazing win.
Look at that picture there. It's an amazing force football, isn't it? When no matter what happens in people's lives, you can get to where you two are just, there's unadulterated joy there, isn't there?
Yeah, and Dennis is like a father figure, and I know Glenn said that on a number of occasions. I mean, he had an amazing ability in the 90s with the players we had and because he coached a lot of the guys in under-19s to get the best out of them.
The 1999 Premiership was your second?
Yep.
You shouldn't have played, should you? Did you have a broken ankle from the preliminary final?
Yeah, I had a fracture in my heel on my right foot, and plus torn all the ligaments in the ankle. So it was, I'm pretty sure it was a good 14 to 16 week injury.
14 to 16 weeks?
Yeah, injury.
And you turned it into a 7-day injury?
Pretty much. I mean, Dennis, to his credit, he said, son, if you can actually get on the training track for 10 minutes on Thursday, he said, I'll play you. So I was pretty determined to get on there.
And it wasn't your foot that gave way, was it? That was the game in which you ripped the pectoral muscle, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had a reasonable first quarter, and then 10 minutes into the second quarter, I actually went to tackle Brett Ratton, and he actually dodged at the last minute. So I actually hit him with my right arm, and with that, the force of it actually ripped the pec muscle off the bone. So I went off the ground not long after that time.
You averaged 20 plus possessions for 16 years and a rucker over in North Team of the Century. I mean, those things have got to have exceeded any of your boyhood expectations, don't they?
Oh, by a mile. I don't think, as I said to you, I think one of my strengths was actually understanding who I was as a footballer, but yeah, I would have been happy to play 10 games, but to actually achieve those things, I still don't believe I should have been in the Team of the Century. I think.
Really? You mean that?
Yeah, I think a guy like Jimmy Cracker should have been in before me. There's a few other players as well. So Matty Larkin, I mean, he was an absolute superstar in the time that I used to, as a kid, watch footy, and then to actually come to the club. He missed out as well. So there's guys like that were stiff. I know Jimmy's in the
he's on the bench, isn't he?
In the bench now, but that was a few years afterwards that he got added to the list. I decided to go home. My mum and dad and brothers and sisters were down. A couple of them were down. So I'd had one beer, walked out the side door of the hotel. So I had Lou in front of me, who was the manager of the Redback, and then Kelly here. And with that, I heard a smash of glass, and next minute I felt the force of a plate glass actually hit the side of my neck. So with that, I've gone forward and put my hand up to my neck, and I could feel the whole side of my face just peeled away. The next day, on the Saturday, after it happened on the Friday night, the specialist who come in assessed the whole scenario and pretty much said I'd have to go in and try and attach the nerves back together and trapezius muscle, and he pretty much said he didn't know how much luck he would have, and said I'd probably have a drop shoulder and a drop lip for the rest of my life, and I definitely wouldn't be playing football. So I wasn't too concerned about football at that time. But in the end, lucky enough, we had surgery and he was able to attach it all back, and I ended up playing 14 weeks later.
14 weeks, yeah.